Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter, and I'm going to share 2 more ways to make tags with you today for your Christmas cards. We're going to use masking fluid for one example, and we're going to use wax for the other. So let's get right to it. The first thing you need to do is make a tag, and I've got a couple pieces of watercolor paper here that are 2.5 by 4 3/4, and they can be whatever size you choose. And I'm just going to use a corner rounder here. And then I'm going to use a crocodile in the middle to punch a hole. Alright, so now we got 2 tags for our tutorial. The first thing I want to show you is how to do a tree using a fan brush and masking fluid. So masking fluid comes in a bottle like this, and some people use rubber cement, but I haven't had good luck using rubber cement. This is expensive though. I got this like 10 years ago and it was $10.49, and what I do is usually pour a little out into another container, and then when that's used up, then I'll pour a little more out. That way I don't have to keep opening this container and risk it drying out on me. So now I just need my fan brush, which is around here somewhere. Let me pause this and find it. I found my brush, and so I poured a little bit of that masking fluid out on just a scrap of paper. It's very important, actually let me clean that off, before you use your masking fluid, especially if you're going to be doing it in a large project, that you put a little soap on, and I actually put a little dish soap there, so I'm going to put my brush in the dish soap first. That will protect your bristles. You know, we can get it washed out in time probably for this, but if you were doing a big picture where you had to use a lot of masking fluid over a period of time, if it dried on there, it would ruin your brushes. So what I'm going to do is a tap on the top of my tree, and then I'm going to kind of rock my fan brush as I kind of go down, and it's going to give me, it's going to protect the tips of my bristles on the tree, the boughs of the tree, so it'll look like there's snow on there because it's protecting the white of the paper. So I'm going to set that aside to dry, but I've already prepared that on another piece of cardstock here, so I'm going to go ahead and paint that. I'm going to paint, using a round brush, I'm going to put some of this ultramarine blue in the sky. Just slapping it in there. This is just a tag, guys. You don't need to take a long time. I'm going to put a little bit of gray that I mixed at the bottom. Just a little swipe of it. And then I am going to use a little hooker's green or sap green to paint the boughs. And I'm just painting right on top of the masking fluid. The masking fluid can be removed later. And I'm not going to worry if some of this gets mixed into the background, because it'll just like look kind of like trees in the distance. So there. And while this is wet, I could sprinkle on some salt, and it will look like snowflakes when it's all dry. I'm going to set that aside, and I'm going to grab one that's already dried right here. And you need to make sure your hands are clean for this next step. And you want to rub off the masking fluid. So this is dried completely. The paper is completely dry. My paint is completely dry. So even just by taking off the masking fluid, I have so much definition, and you can see the shape of the tree there. I'm going to zoom in a little bit for you. Alright, now I'm going to use my brush. You can use, I got a number 10 here, but you could use a number 8, whatever you're comfortable with. And I'm going to go in, and I'm just going to add a little more definition to the tree, so you could tell this foreground Christmas tree, and the green blobs in the background will just look like trees far away. And that's all there is to it. You can sign your name with a pen or with a paintbrush, whatever you like, and that's ready to go on your next gift. If you want to add a little bit of flair, you could put a like a brad, a silver brad on the top, a star brad, put a ribbon on there. I'll show you how I finished off. Well, here's one that I just did. This one, the salt was in wetter paint, so it came out a little bit more snowier. This was a little bit more subtle, you know, and you could practice your techniques with this and get all sorts of different effects. So next thing I want to show you is how to do this with wax. So here I've got the other another tag that we made, and I'm going to use this hunk of wax. You can use wax or a white crayon, and pretty firmly you want to kind of put in your whatever you want to be white. So I'm just imagining this tree, and I'm just kind of putting horizontal lines, and I am kind of having it go down in a tree shape. That's the best way I can explain it. You know, the wax is clear, so you can't really see that, but once I start painting, you'll be able to see exactly where I put the wax. So let me go in there first with my sky color, my ultramarine blue. You can see how it's, see how it resists the wax there? Put a little bit of that gray on the bottom. And then we're going to do our salt right into the wet paint, and that's going to make our snowflakes. It's going to make the paint dry and snowflakey pattern. Here's one that I've already done. It's already dry. I'm going to brush off the salt, and then I'm going to go in with my green. And wherever I have put the wax, it's going to resist the paint. Now you could paint this wet into wet like we did with the masking fluid, and it will just, some of the green would just bleed into the background. It's not a big deal. You do that if you like to. You can do it this way if you like to. It's completely up to you. So there we have another quick and easy Christmas tree tag. And I'll show you a couple of those that I did with the wax. Both of these examples are done with the wax. This one I just took just a golden star brad like I mentioned before and embellished it in a little ribbon. That's really all you need. Don't forget to sign your name and put that on a present. Now if you really kind of want to get fancy later on, you could take a little glitter, you could draw some balls on the tree with like pastel or chalk or colored pencil. Do whatever you want. It's your tag, it's fun. Sometimes if something doesn't come out that great, then I'll just go ahead and embellish it and see what I can make out of it so I don't just have to throw it away. I want to thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. And if you have any requests for future painting tutorials, then go ahead and leave them in the comments section and I will do my best to get them done. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, happy crafting.